What would you risk for love? Your reputation? Your family? Your entire salvation? In the winter of 1312, a priest in northern France opened a letter that should never have been written. Inside, 3 words that could destroy 2 lives. I love you. They were written by a nun, a woman locked behind stone walls, a woman who was supposed to belong only to God. This is the true story the church hoped the world would forget. Forbidden priest-nun relationships were more common than you think. For centuries, the church struggled to contain them through strict vows, confinement, and brutal punishments. Human beings still felt human emotions, affection, loneliness, desire, longing. And medieval monasteries, instead of suppressing feelings, often intensified them. In this video, you will not only learn the truth behind these hidden relationships, you'll also understand why monasteries became emotional pressure cookers, how secret affairs unfolded step by step, what punishments lovers faced when caught, and you'll experience one real, heartbreaking story from beginning to end. By the end, you'll see medieval religious life in a way you never imagined. Our story begins at the convent of St. Marguerite. High walls, locked gates, long stone corridors that echoed with the sound of nothing. Inside, nearly 40 women, some devout, some forced, all bound to silence. But among them was Sister Beatrice, 22 years old. Brilliant, gentle, raised in a convent since childhood. Her only glimpse of the outside world was through the chapel window during Sunday Mass, when a priest visited from the nearby parish. His name was Father Adrian, and Beatrice noticed him long before he ever noticed her. The first time their eyes met, nothing happened. Not outwardly, but something shifted. Beatrice later wrote in her confession, "I felt seen for the first time, as if someone looked directly at my soul." Adrian, too, felt a pull. He was 34, respected, educated, yet painfully lonely. His role demanded he comfort others, but no one comforted him. So when Beatrice approached him after Mass, nervous, voice trembling, to ask for guidance on a Bible passage, Adrian felt warmth he hadn't felt in years. One conversation became two. Two became whispers. Whispers became letters, hand-delivered by a young novice who thought they were spiritual teachings. They were not. By spring, the letters grew more honest. Beatrice confessed her longing. Adrian confessed his fear. Eventually, they met in the old herb garden behind the convent. Hidden, quiet, unwatched, Beatrice removed her veil. Adrian took her hands. History records what happened next in chilling detail, because someone saw nun, a woman who believed Beatrice was corrupted by the devil. Within days, the bishop's investigators arrived, and the lovers' world collapsed. The church's punishment for a priest-nun affair was brutal. Public confession, humiliation, imprisonment or exile, and sometimes lifelong separation. Beatrice was interrogated for 11 hours. Adrian for nearly 2 days. Adrian broke first. He admitted everything. Beatrice didn't. She tried to protect him, insisting she acted alone, claiming Adrian never touched her, never encouraged her, never loved her. But the letters ruined everything. Witnesses described her trial as heartbreaking. When they read Adrian's letters aloud, Beatrice cried silently, hands trembling. The verdict: Adrian was stripped of his priesthood and sent to a remote monastery. Beatrice was confined to a dark cell for 4 years. And yet, when the guards left her on the first night, she whispered a prayer not for herself, but for Adrian. Adrian never recovered. He wrote only one letter from exile. It never reached Beatrice. She survived her punishment, but became quiet, withdrawn. Other nuns said she spent nights looking toward the chapel door, as if expecting someone who would never return. She died at age 31. Adrian died a year later. In his belongings was a tiny piece of parchment. 3 words. Words he never stopped believing. I love you. Their story isn't unique. Hundreds of priest-nun romances were buried by history, hidden behind silence, fear, and walls meant to suppress the human heart. But stories like Beatrice and Adrian remind us, even in the strictest of worlds, under the weight of vows, Human beings still long to love and be loved. And sometimes that longing becomes a revolution of its own.